Welcome to Recap King. In this video, we will explain Mumon, the Land of Stealth. This movie tells the story of a trained ninja who has no sympathy, bound in war and politics. When the local ruler wanted to destroy his hometown, he then raised his fellow ninja to fight back. Can he defend his hometown and finally understand people's heart? Let's find out in Mumon, the Land of Stealth.
Shinobi no Kuni.
Mumon, the Land of Stealth takes place in a settlement in Iga Province, where 12 ninja clans live. The story begins with two conflicting clans, namely the Shimoyama clan and the Memoji clan. The Memoji clan began trying to break into the Shimoyama clan's stronghold. However, they faced obstacles as the enemy troops shot arrows and threw spears at them. On the other hand, the Shimoyama clan keeps trying to defend the castle with the direction of Shimoyama's two sons, the serious Heibi and his easygoing younger brother Jinbi. Suddenly, a group of ninjas led by Mumon interrupted the course of the fight by breaking down the gate of the Shimoyama clan fort. As a result, Memoji's troops easily entered the fort. Mumon himself is an assassin who fights for money. Mumon was paid by the Memoji clan to help them attack Shimoyama fortress and kill Jinbi. Finally, Mumon confronts Jinbi head-on, and they fight one-on-one, although at first Mumon doesn't know that his opponent is the target he should kill. It was only when Heibi shouted Jinbi's name from the edge of the battle arena that Mumon realized that the opponent he was facing was Jinbi. With that, Mumon killed Jinbi, and he did it with ease too. After watching the fight between Jinbi and Mumon, the troops returned to fighting as if nothing had happened. Only Heibi was seen mourning Jinbi's death. Then, he attacked Mumon to avenge Jinbi. However, Mumon did not understand why he was attacked, and he immediately fled from the battlefield. Since then, Heibi has realized that he is in an environment where human life has no value. Therefore, he will not consider the ninjas as humans. He also intends to destroy his hometown along with the ninjas who live in it. Currently, Japan itself is dominated by the ambitious warlord Nobunaga Oda, where almost all provinces in Japan have been under his control, except for Iga Province. His territory expanded when Nobunaga married his second son, Nobukatsu Oda, to Rin Kitabadake, the daughter of the ruler of Ise Province. One night, Nobukatsu asked Rin's father, Tominori Kitabadake, for a very rare item. The object was a konatsu tea jug which was said to be worth a palace. Annoyed by his rude son-in-law, Tominori instead broke the konatsu in front of Nobukatsu. An enraged Nobukatsu orders a samurai, Dai-zen, to kill Tominori. At first, Dai-zen refused because he used to be a loyal follower of the Tominori family. However, because the friend who replaced him against Tominori was almost killed, he ended up slashing Tominori. In a dying condition, Tominori asks Dai-zen to protect the safety and welfare of the people of Ise Province, which will now be taken over by Nobunaga. Not long after, Rin intends to stab Nobukatsu to avenge Tominori's death. Unfortunately, Rin slipped while running, and the knife only scratched Nobukatsu's hand. Outside the courtyard, a spy from the province of Iga witnessed all of this. The news of Tominori's death reached the ears of the ninja chiefs who were members of the Council of 12 Clans in Iga Province. They became worried because Nobunaga had taken control of the surrounding area, including Ise Province, which was Iga's neighboring province. It is not impossible that Iga Province will be the next target. After all, Nobunaga's ambition was to unify Japan. After a long discussion, and after considering that the troops in Iga Province were far outnumbered by Nobunaga's troops, the ninja leaders finally decided to surrender to Nobunaga. An envoy will be sent to convey their side to Nobunaga. It was Heibi who was chosen to deliver the letter to Nobukatsu, who currently serves as the leader of Ise Province. In the afternoon, escorted by a ninja, Heibi went to Ise Province. Elsewhere, Mumon returns home to meet his wife, Okuni. But Okuni instead locked the house door, not allowing Mumon to come inside. Okuni is a fussy wife. She often demands Mumon's promise before they get married. In the past, Okuni was promised a happy and prosperous life if he went with Mumon, but the lazy Mumon was unable to keep his promise. Suddenly, came a ninja who was seriously injured. Mumon then brought the ninja to the ninja chiefs at the temple of the 12 Clans Council. From the information given by the ninja, it was finally known that he was the ninja who guards Heibi. Heibi has now become a traitor because he wants revenge for Jinbi's death. Because of that, he attacked his ninja guard on the way to Ise Province. In Ise Province, Heibi, who has arrived at Nobukatsu's palace while tied up, he then expressed his desire to help Nobunaga's troops attack Iga Province, and suggested that they build a fort in the center of Iga Province so that they could attack the ninjas there freely. At first, Nobukatsu and his followers were suspicious of Heibi and rejected his proposal. But Heibi continued to provoke Nobukatsu until finally Nobukatsu decided to attack Iga Province. Next, on orders from Nobukatsu, some of Nobunaga's troops came to Iga Province to negotiate with the ninja chiefs. There, the envoy delivered Nobukatsu's message about constructing a palace that would become a fortress in the middle of Iga province. Initially, the ninja chiefs rejected the proposed construction of the palace, but they changed their minds when some of Nobunaga's troops gave them some chests filled with money and gold. After the meeting, Sandayu of the Memoji clan stood on the terrace of the temple to announce to all the ninja about the construction of the palace. The palace will be occupied by Issei's government as a sign of peace between the two sides. Then, Nobunaga's envoy said that in order to expedite the construction of the palace, he needed the support of the ninja in Iga province to build this palace, and those who help will receive very high rewards. Hearing this, the previously restless ninja immediately cheered. The construction of the palace has finally begun. With the expertise and strength of the ninjas, the development process goes quite fast. After work, Mumon, who also took part in the palace's construction, was picked up by Okuni. They then walked home together. However, while in the middle of the forest, Okuni is shocked to see a boy injured. The boy tried to get the poison out of his body by sucking and expelling it. It turns out that people in Iga province have been trained to be ninjas since they were small, and one of the trainings is to receive poison weapons attacks. Sometimes during practice, some of them were injured and even died. It is a tradition that has been passed down from generation to generation so that the younger generation in Iga province becomes a formidable ninja. After the construction of the palace in Iga province was completed, the ninjas were paid one last time before leaving the castle. The soldiers and messengers of Nobunaga closed the gate. They looked relieved to occupy the new palace. However, just as the ninjas left, the palace was burned and destroyed by the ninja chiefs. The ninja squad also killed Nobunaga's soldiers who were on guard. As it turned out, this attack had been carefully planned by the ninja leaders. This incident certainly made Nobukatsu furious. He is eager to attack Iga province despite Daizen's opposition. Later, the council of the 12 ninja clans announced in front of the ninja troops that Iga province would fight Nobukatsu's forces. Even though the plan received protests from the mercenary ninja, knowing that in this war they would not be paid, the ninja could not help but participate in the war because their hometown would be attacked. On returning home, Mumon asked Okuni to leave, but Okuni stubbornly refused. She would stay in Iga province, because if she moved to another place, she would probably live a poorer life. Thus, Mumon must find a way to prevent war from happening. One night, Mumon came to Nobukatsu's palace while Nobukatsu was sleeping. He threatened Nobukatsu to abandon his plans to attack Iga province. However, Mumon's presence was soon noticed by the guards. Luckily, Mumon managed to escape by sneaking into the prison in the palace area. In that prison, he saw Heibi locked up in a cell for being accused of setting traps for Nobunaga's soldiers who died while occupying the palace in Iga province. He also saw Rin solemnly praying in another cell. Knowing that Mumon is a ninja, Rin asks Mumon to kill Nobukatsu for a konatsu as fee. It turns out that the konatsu that her father broke was fake. After giving Mumon a mission, Rin and his nanny commit suicide. Mumon couldn't understand what he had just seen. Heibi angrily tells Mumon that only humans with hearts can understand the meaning behind suicide. Meanwhile, in Heibi's eyes, Mumon was nothing more than an animal, the same as the other ninjas in Iga province. In another room, Nobukatsu holds a meeting with the samurai over the incident Mumon broke into his bedroom. Therefore, Daizen came down to the prison to interrogate Heibi and ask him why he came to Issei. Daizen finally finds out that all this has been planned by the ninja chiefs, from the sparring between the Memoji clan and the Shimoyama clan, the recruitment of Mumon to kill Jinbi, to the dispatch of Heibi to Issei. He also found that the ninja in Iga province were mostly mercenaries. Their income decreased because fighting was rare since Nobunaga dominated Japan. After getting this information, Daizen finally agreed to Nobukatsu's war plan. Daizen himself will lead the war. Elsewhere, Mumon is seen returning home, where he then persuades Okuni again to go to another city to escape the war. Okuni still refuses, though she eventually agrees to move after Mumon gives her konatsu. Long story short, Nobunaga's giant army was seen entering Iga province. However, the ninja chiefs were confused as their troop numbers had disappeared by half. As it turned out, half the ninja squad had left Iga province for Kyoto, including Mumon and Okuni, who were also in the refugee group. The war finally broke out. The strategy of the ninja chiefs missed, because Nobunaga's troops came from another direction instead. Nobunaga's troops even know the tricks of the ninja disguised, because they have been told by the traitor Heibi, who has joined Nobunaga's camp. Returning to Mumon and Okuni, Okuni remembered the ninja boy he had met. Mumon replied that the boy was also in the war. Hearing that, Okuni got angry. She quipped at Mumon, who despite his ninja abilities, ran away when his clan needed him while the boy went to war instead. Okuni threatens to return to Iga and join the war. Seeing that, Mumon finally followed Okuni's orders to join the war. He took the konatsu, then shouted on the hill to invite the refugee ninja to join the war in exchange for the konatsu. The ninjas immediately turned around and went with Mumon to join the war. Motivated by the abundant rewards, the ninjas succeeded in pushing back Nobunaga's troops. Even Nobukatsu was forced to flee. When Nobukatsu arrived alone in a meadow, Mumon was still chasing him. But at this moment, Dai-Zen came to save Nobukatsu. A fight ensues in which Mumon succeeds by injuring Dai-Zen's hand. Just as Mumon was about to kill Dai-Zen, Nobukatsu shot Mumon, and the arrow sent Mumon flying. Fortunately, Mumon wasn't dead yet. Nobunaga's troops were repulsed, making the ninja troops in Iga province celebrate their victory. Meanwhile, Nobukatsu, who had entered his palace in Ise, was still being attacked by Mumon and some of his ninja troops. Heibi challenges Mumon to a fight. But before they start the fight, Heibi asks Mumon not to kill Nobukatsu. Then, he made a kawa line indicating the fight would take place until one of them died. The two ninjas fought so fiercely that it made Nobukatsu and his troops amazed. In the end, Heibi died with a very severe slashing wound. After the fight, Mumon gets a lesson on how to treat a human. He asks Dai-Zen to bury Heibi and give him the respect he deserves. Return to Iga, where several ninjas are seen visiting the temple of the 12 Clans Council. Mumon was also among the ninjas. Inside the shrine, the ninja chiefs are partying to celebrate the victory. When they saw Mumon, they asked about the konatsu which was promised by Mumon. But unexpectedly, Mumon stabbed one of the ninja chiefs to death. Everyone was shocked and panicked. Mumon is furious after learning that he and the other ninjas were tricked by the leaders of the 12 Clans Council. Suddenly, Sandayu shouted that whoever managed to kill Mumon, that person would be exempt from taxes for 1 year. The ninjas immediately hunted Mumon, without caring that he was their friend. Suddenly, Okuni picked up konatsu and shouted asking the ninjas not to attack her husband. Seeing the valuable items that Okuni was holding, the ninjas attacked Okuni by blowing poisonous needles. Mumon immediately jumped to protect Okuni, but he was too late, and there were too many needles. As she lay dying, Okuni asked Mumon's real name. Throughout their marriage, she did not know Mumon's real name. Mumon himself admitted that he did not know his real name, because his fate was the same as that of a child who was practicing ninja at that time. As a child, he was brought from another area to be trained as a ninja. He got the name Mumon when he started training in Iga. After that, Okuni died, making Mumon very angry. Later, he destroys Konatsu and takes Okuni's body away from Iga. At the end of the film, it is told how Iga province became a very successful province because there were many requests for fighting for the ninja. However, 2 years later, the ninja glory in Iga province ended because Nobunaga attacked Iga with more troops. Nobunaga's troops burned down the province of Iga, as well as all the ninja living there. Only 2 ninja remained, Mumon and the boy that Okuni saw. The 2 of them lived peacefully in another area without having to fight again.